Di Quadcom hearing mga kababayan kanina, or ngayon kasi tuloy-tuloy pa siya, in-expose po ni Quadcom overall chairman Ace Barbers yung kasinungalingan ng past administration, war on drugs. Kinumpara po yung bloodless war on drugs ng ating Pangulong BBM. Malayong malayo mga kababayan. Talagang malamang lalong magngingit-ngit yung mga DDS, lalo na po si Digong, na ang sabi ng mga congressmen, parang naduwang. Binodol yung mga congressmen po. Sabi sa unang sulat ng kanyang abogado, after All Saints Day, willing nga niyang sagutin yan. May sakit lang nga niya, masama yung pakiramdam niyang dating Pangulo. Yun ang excuse ng abogado. Yun pala, wala ng planong mag-attend. Galit na galit po si Paduano. Pumusok si Paduano. But anyway, sabi nga natin, huwag na kayong pa-uulit, huwag kayong pabubudol, huwag ninyong hayaan paglaruan kayo. I-contempt na kasi ninyo. Di ba? Nag-show cause order sila doon sa abogado. Ang i-show cause na ninyo, si Digong mismo, mamimihasa yan pag hindi ninyo ginamitan ng kamay na bakal. Patukang ninyo kay De La Torre. Kay General De La Torre. But anyway, ibigay ko sa inyo yung kwento tungkol sa comparison. Maganda yung presentation po ni Ace Barbers. But before ko ibigay sa inyo yung full story, click subscribe muna dito sa ating YouTube channel and hit the notification bell para lagi po kayong updated sa mga kaganapan dito sa ating bansa. Like and share na rin po ninyo ng ating video. At huwag na rin po ninyo na skip yung ating mga commercial ads para tuloy-tuloy lang ang pag-unlad ng Bagong Pilipinas. Itong ating programa mga kababayan, atid sa inyo nitong ating mga sponsors. Firmax Firming and Lifting Cream. Pinapay po sa mga pulses in affected area. Mainam po ito sa mga pains at paninigas ng mga kaso-kasuan. Ito sa mukha naman yung application, anti-aging, Automax po siya. Ito ay Glow 60 mga kababayan. Whitening po siya. Made in South Korea. Ito naman po, Nengxia Red Mix Fruit Drink. Gawa po siya sa goji berry. May anti-cancer properties po siya. At sa mga nagana po ng malinis and spacious fitness gym, pumunta lang po kayo sa aming Colossal Fitness Gym. May Grab car rental din po kami. At bills payment po sa aming office. At saka sa mga mahilig po sa mga imported bags, manood po kayo sa live selling ni Madam Aileen Rosales sa kanyang Aileen Closet po. Pati mga shoes, ito yung kanya po. Ito yung kanyang page. Kita ninyo, napakagandang mga online selling po siya. Si Madam Aileen Rosales. Cellphone number niya po, 773-798-7816. Balikan natin yung ating topic. Magngingit-ngit na naman ito. Yung mga nausog, mga DDS po. Ang ganda nitong ni-report ni Congressman Ace Barbers. PBBMs, bloodless, anti-drug drive seized 49.82 billion worth ng drugs. 800 plus deaths lang po versus Duterte's bloody war. Kung konti lang po mga kababayan, ito talagang nanlaban. Pero doon po sa previous administration, by admission mismo ni Digong, inuudyukan na niya. Tinuruan niya na mag-udyukan. Tinuruan niya yung kanyang mga polis. Udyukan na niya ninyong lumaban para tapos na. Yun mismo yung sabi ni Digong sa Senado. Kaya nga po, pati yung eskwelahan, kung saan nagturo noon si Digong sa criminal law, dapat siguro kung sino yung mga naging estudyante ni Digong sa criminal law, mga kababayan, ay kailangang re-schooling po, pabalikin sa eskwelahan, turuan ng tama. Kasi mali yung turo po sa criminal law ni Digong. May kasamang pag-udyok na lumaban. Pag lumabanan niya, diretsuhan mo na. Neutralize. You see? Tama ba yan, mga kababayan? So ito ang sabi dito ni Congressman Ace Barbers. House Squad Committee Chairperson Representative Ace Barbers reported that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s bloodless anti-drug campaign running from 2022 to 2024 ay nag-result, mga kababayan, sa pagkakumpiska ng 49.82 billion worth ng droga and at least 800 drug-related deaths. In comparison niya kay dating President Digong, bloody war on drugs from 2016 to 2018, same period, 2 years. So 25.919 billion worth lang ng droga yung nakumpiska, pero 20,000 yung drug personalities na namatay. So ano yung effective? Di ba, malayo? Hindi nga mga lahati po pala yung performance ni Digong. Worse, napakarami yung nadisgrasya. 20,000 plus in 2 years. 2016 to 2018. Pero sa ating present administration, dublado yung nakumpiska. 49 billion worth. Yan 49.82 billion worse ng droga, pero 800 lang po, 800 plus lang yung drug-related deaths. So sabi po ni Barber sa kanyang opening statement, the previous administration's campaign niya resulted in 4,540 suspects killed in police operations and 16,355 deaths attributed to unknown assailants. Hindi malaman kung sino yung pumatay. In contrast, data from Marcos administration showed 73 deaths lang po from legitimate operations and 822 drug-related killings, indicating fewer casualties. So, it dwarf, mga kababayan, naging duwende lang yung war on drugs ni Digong, bloody pa siya as compared sa war on drugs, bloodless war on drugs ni President Bongbong Marcos. Mas effective pa siya, mga kababayan. May pagrespeto sa human rights. Kaya sabi po ni Barbers, both administration niya saw reductions in crime, but the Marcos government pointed to a significant decrease in index crimes, down by 61.87%. Compared to the same period in Duterte's first 2 years, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin affirmed the decline in crime, citing the government's ability to maintain peace and order while upholding due process and human rights. Nakita ninyo, basag na basag po yung mga propaganda ng mga DDS vloggers, saka yung mga social media trolls nila. Laging pinapakalat nila na lumala na naman po daw ang krimen, bumalik yung droga sa mga barangay at hindi na safe maglakad-lakad. Hindi yun niya tulad nung panahon ni Tatay Digong. Walang katotohanan po. Mas ligtas ngayon maglakad-lakad. May pagrespeto pa sa human rights. Sabi po ni Barbers, the Marcos administration's bloodless anti-drug campaign niya resulted to fewer fatalities in drug seizures, higher concentration on strategic arrest, and increased operational efficiency, suggesting a potential shift towards a more systematic and less violent anti-drug approach. Kasi ano ang silbi, mga kababayan, ng pinagawa na mega-sized rehabilitation center doon sa Nueva Ecija? Nagpagawa pa noon na yung intention pala ng gobyerno, i-kill yung mga drug addicts. Nagastos ka pa ng rehabilitation na wala ka man palang intention i-rehab yung mga tao na nabiktima po ng masamang bisyo. O di ba? O kita ninyo, yung isang pari na nandun sa Quadcom hearing, mga kababayan, dating adik pala yon. You see? Kung natukang yun, hindi na yun naging pari. Butit hindi nasama yun sa tukang. Matagal na kasi siya, mga kababayan, na nagbago. So nabigyan ng pagkakataon na magbago at naging pari pa ngayon. You see? Pakinggan natin yung porsyon ng opening statement, mga kababayan, ni Congressman Barbers. Ayan po siya, mga kababayan, sa Quadcom hearing kanina.
Honorable colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our senior deputy speaker, the proponent of this investigation, welcome to our 10th Quadcom hearing. Today, we shall continue with our inquiry on the issue on illegal drugs. If you recall, we started in the Committee on Dangerous Drugs in October of last year, 2023. We investigated the illegal drugs seized in a warehouse in Mexico, Pampanga, which turned out to be owned by Empire 999, a corporation owned by Chinese nationals who pretended to be Filipinos. When the hearing started, they all disappeared. Records show that the main players have gone back to China using their real passports and identities. To date, Quadcom has initiated forfeiture proceedings of all their assets here in the country through the Office of the Solicitor General. The Quadcom now discovered that it was but the tip of the iceberg. Empire 999 is not alone in this illegal activity. Other corporations may have been formed to cover or mask this activity, as evidenced by their interlocking sets of incorporators, all the way leading to personalities who are long suspected of illegal drug activities, namely Lin Wei-xiong and Mr. Michael Yang, the former economic advisor of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. This discovery led us back into the past. Witnesses now claim that powerful people associated with these two Chinese have facilitated the entry of illegal drugs into the country during the past administration.
Tindi?
We have invited all these personalities today so we may know whether or not they have any involvement in illegal drugs. And we shall listen to their side later. We shall also resume the hearing on the extrajudicial killings that took the lives of more than 20,000 people during the past administration's war on drugs. In our past hearings, names were mentioned, admissions were made, witnesses and resource persons appeared, questioned, vetted, and tested. Forced admissions in any way was never part of Quadcom. We may not have extracted yet the information fully from them, but we never put words in their mouths. Whatever testimonies and affidavits they presented before the Quadcom were given by them freely and voluntarily. We may be accused of providing entertainment and likened to a gag show, but who is laughing? On the contrary, the one who said that must be so full of himself that he didn't notice that the joke was on him. We are not here to pin down nor exonerate anyone. All we wanted was to know the truth, the same truth that the people have been longing for, most especially by the families of murder victims and the victims who survived. We intend to use these truths in crafting legislation, some of which we have already filed, as well as make recommendations to any agency to plug loopholes in their systems, if any is discovered. If along the way, people are found to be liable, it is our duty to make sure that justice is served. There is nothing funny about it. We only mean serious business. We have reached this point because in the course of the investigation, we found very disturbing facts and questions needing answers. We owe it to the people. As public servants, we pledge loyalty to them. They trusted us and voted us in office. We serve them. We will not use the Quadcom to exonerate ourselves and proclaim our innocence in the face of overwhelming evidence. Now, if I may, I invite all of you to look at the screen and see the inconvenient truth. These numbers are from the official PNP reports as published both then and recently, last October 21, and not just made-up stories by the Quadcom. Ikumpara po natin ang unang 2 taon ng Duterte at BBM administration. Tingnan po natin ang total ng krimen o tinatawag na index crime volume Sa unang 2 taon po ng Duterte administration ay nakapagtala ito ng 217,830 na krimen. Samantalang sa parehong panahon naman sa BBM administration, ang krimen ay bumaba ng napakalaki.
You see?
83,059 o nangangalugan na pagbawas ng 61.87% sa index crimes. Any claim to the contrary is but a figment of the imagination and if not, a propaganda. Pangalawa, tingnan po natin mula July 2016 to December 2017 ay may mga namatay o pinatay.
Durog na durog yung propaganda ng mga DDS. Yan mismo po ang screaming truth, mga kababayan. Sumisigaw na katotohanan. Mas ligtas ngayon, kunti ang nagaganap na krimen. Hindi totoo po na nakakatakot na ngayon. Mas ligtas ngayon kaysa sa previous administration. Apakalinaw, 83,000 plus lang po. Compared sa same period po, 217,000 ang crime index. O di ba?
Na 4,354 sa mga police anti-illegal drug operations, habang 16,000 naman at 355 naman ang pinatay ng mga riding in tandem at mga di pa nakikilalang mga salarin. Noong 2018, inilagay ng PNP sa kategoryang HCUI or Homicide Cases Under Investigation na umabot sa talang 23,327. Samantala, mula July 2022 hanggang katapusan ng 2023, ang bilang ng mga napatay sa mga legitimate police anti-illegal drugs operations ay 73 lamang po. Pangatlo, may kabuuan na 115,435 na anti-drug operations na nakalikom lamang ng 3,294,44 kilos ng shabu na nagkakahalaga ng 18.43 billion pesos sa unang 2 taon ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, habang sa mas kakaunting anti-illegal drug operations lamang sa parehong panahon sa BBM administration ay 84,676, subalit nakalikom na mas maraming shabu na umaabot sa 6,481.16 kilos. The anti-drug campaigns under former President Rodrigo Duterte from July 2016 to July 2018 and the current President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. from July 22 to early 2024 represent contrasting approaches in tackling illegal drugs and the crime in the Philippines. While both administrations aim to reduce drug-related crimes, their methods and resulting outcomes reflect significant strategic and operational differences. Here is a detailed comparison of the first 2 years of the administration's campaign. As has been shown earlier, ang numero po ay hindi po nagsisinungaling. Ito po ay galing sa Philippine National Police. Duterte's anti-drug campaign was characterized by an aggressive, highly visible approach involving frequent operations and a high fatality count. His administration focused on eradicating drug activity at all levels, which led to widespread arrests and significant drops in crime, but also raised concerns over human rights and due process.
Ano kayo ngayon, mga DDS? Pahiya kayo, baseless? Propaganda na wala man pong base. Kung gagawa kayo ng propaganda po, yung malapit-lapit naman po sa katotohanan, hindi yung napakadaling basagin. Ayan tuloy, basag na basag kayo ngayon. O ngayon, ano yung buwelta ninyo? Siyempre, PBBM bangag. At hanapin ninyo yung 20 pesos na bugas plus yung 5,500 na mga flood control projects. Yun na lang ang inyong bukang bibig. Ayaw ninyo na salubungin ng frontal yung mga issue. Kasi nga, pahiya kayo sa inyong sariling kasinungalingan. O ngayon, sabi ni Congressman Ace Barbers, ipagpabalagay na anya natin na yung iba talaga mga drug addicts yung napatay. Pero ano pa niya yung silbi ng daan-daang milyon na inallocate natin sa pagpagawa ng mega rehabilitation? Tama. O diba? Pakinggan natin yung sinabi ni Ace Barbers.
Natin na mga adik ang ibang pinatay. Bakit pa tayo naglaan ng daang-daang milyon sa pagtatayo ng mga drug rehab centers kung papatayin din lamang natin sila? Ito ba ang dahilan kung bakit hindi nagamit ng full capacity or in full capacity yung ating mega rehabilitation center na nandoon sa Nueva Ecija? Pag drug addict ka ba, wala ka ng karapatang mabuhay dahil wala ka ng silbi sa buhay. Ang mga pinatay ay mga tatay, nanay, anak, kapatid, apo, mga miyembro ng pamilya na may mga nagmamahal. Napakinggan natin dito ang kanilang mga naulila. Sila'y kaawa-awa at kalunos-lunos.
Correct, mga kababayan. Ngayon, pakinggan natin yung napakagandang opening statement ni Paduano. Ito po si Paduano. Dati, hindi siya nag-opening statement. Ngayon, nag-opening statement na siya.
We can recommend our witnesses for the Department of Justice Witness Protection Program, which offers both legal protection and additional support. By making this recommendation, we can ensure that witnesses who provide vital information are shielded from prosecution related to their testimonies, in line with the provisions of Republic Act Number 6981. This action requires the consent of the witnesses and approval of our speaker. In addition, we may consider the option of granting protective custody to ensure the physical safety of the searched persons who may be at risk due to their involvement in this investigation. While protective custody does not provide immunity from legal actions, it is an established measure that can provide immediate security during the course of our proceedings. Both actions will require a collective decision from the members of the Joint Committee. This ensures that we act transparently and uphold the principles of democracy. Mr. Chairman, before we proceed with the continuation of our inquiry, this representation would like to put on record and address certain critical concerns relative to the conduct of the parallel inquiry of the Senate Blue Ribbon Subcommittee on the drug war implemented during the previous administration.
Binakbakan dito, mga kababayan, ni Paduano si Senator Bongo. Pakinggan natin, mga kababayan, yung mga matatalim na pananalita ni Paduano.
On October 28, 2024. To set things into clear perspective, this representation fully recognizes the authority of the Senate to investigate the details of the implementation of the drug war, as both chambers of Congress are constitutionally permitted to conduct inquiries in aid of legislation in accordance with our duly published rules. However, while the authority of the Senate will never be put into question, what is particularly concerning is the seeming disregard for proper courtesy and lack of impartiality by a member of the subcommittee. In particular, I am referring to the actions of Senator Ronaldo Bato de la Rosa. Allow me to discuss this detail, Mr. Chairman. Senator Bato de la Rosa action of participating as a member in a proceeding where he is named as one of the individuals involved in the implementation of drug war did not produce meaningful results, but rather cast doubts on the integrity of the whole process. In fact, prior to the hearing of the Blue Ribbon Committee, Senator De La Rosa even insisted that the investigation should be heard by his own committee. This action of a sitting member of Congress not only demonstrates disregard to existing rules and processes, but also undermines the integrity of the institution that he is bound to respect. Kung sa simula pa lamang ay gumamit na siya ng impluensya, ano pa ang aasahan natin sa kanya sa mga gaganapin nilang pagdinig? He was the PNP chief when the previous implementation introduced the war on drugs. He also admitted that there were killings attributed to the war because of alleged cases of nananaban. In short, he was not only involved, but was in fact one of the figureheads of the campaign during its inception. Hence, he should have been mindful that his presence in the hearing as a member of the panel would compromise, if not invalidate, the whole proceeding. Hindi naman pwedeng ikaw ang mag-imbestiga sa iyong sarili. Clearly, this is conflict of interest on his part. At the very least, he should have inhibited from the proceedings and instead offered himself as a resource person so as not to influence and intimidate the other guests. Unfortunately, the Honorable Senator failed to observe this. Even after the hearing, Senator Bato continued to conduct himself in a manner contrary to what is expected from a member of Congress. Asked about his comment on whether he was part of the Davao hit squad, whose existence was confirmed under oath by former President Duterte during the subcommittee hearing, Senator De La Rosa downplayed the same, claiming that the former president was just joking and there was no death squad to speak of. Now begs the question, why would a committee member defend and even interpret a clear statement made by a resource person in a congressional hearing? The confirmation by the former president needed no interpretation, much less from a member of the panel who investigated the same. If you would ask me, it is as if the Honorable Senator came to the defense of the former president while seeking to exonerate himself from any liability. This is further highlighted by his recent statement that he will be objecting any action of the Senate regarding the submission of records to the ICC. The Honorable Senator's recent actions are truly disappointing, Mr. Chairman. We are conducting these inquiries in order to fill the legislative gaps and address problems that necessitate immediate solution. In doing so, we also want to ascertain the truth about the abuses and other acts related to illegal drugs, POGOs, and EG case. Mahirap man ang hamon sa atin na palabasin ang katotohanan. Sa palagay ko ay napagtatagumpayan natin ito. In closing, this representation wishes to remind our Honorable Senator to observe courtesy and fairness in conducting his official responsibility as a member of the Senate instead of resorting to other means so as to discredit the efforts of this body. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madamong salamat.
Pinangaralan po ni Pinangaralan ni Paduano si Bato. Sa mga naghanap ng malinis and spacious fitness gym, pumunta lang po kayo sa aming Colossal Fitness Gym. We also offer Grab Car Rental with our brand new 2023 model ng Toyota Innova. We also accept booking for those who are planning to travel via PAL, Cebu Pacific, and other airline companies, local and international, and bills payment for Meralco Bills, PLDT, Aleco Bills, etc.
Ang Colossal Fitness Gym is located at 3rd floor Security Bank Building, Landco Business Park, Legazpi City, Albay. For inquiries, look for Chilon Maravillas. Contact number 0966-802-0949. Yan yung aming Innova. Lagi na pong matao sa amin. Pati mga foreigners po, tingnan ninyo. Mga British tourists sila. Ang lalaki ng katawan na, mga kababayan, nag-gym sa amin. Ito naman po, Indian National. Ito mga mga European sila. Ito naman yung bago naming product na binibenta online, iGlow Serum. Whitening po siya galing sa South Korea. Tingnan ninyo yung epekto sa aking anak na architect entrepreneur, Riz Maravillas. For inquiries, look for Riz Maravillas on FB. Ito naman po, Firmax Firming and Lifting Cream. Pinapahid po ito sa mga pulses and affected area. Mainam po ito sa mga pains at paninigas na mga kaso-kasuan. Ito po, Automax Radiant Serum. Sa mukha naman yung application. Anti-aging po siya. You will look 10 years younger than your age. Sa mga cancer patients naman po, baka lang gusto ninyo itong itry. Nengxia Red Mixed Fruit Drink. Hindi man po siya gamot, food supplement siya. Kaya lang, gawa siya mga kababayan sa goji berry. Yung goji berry may anti-cancer properties. Yung mga inquiries ninyo, dumiritso na lang kayo sa aming messenger sa Facebook para masagot namin agad. Ayos po, ako po si Dante Maravillas. Bye-bye. God bless.